The stricken guard was rushed to hospital after the horror attack whilst police were called. This is according to The Sun. An investigation is now underway into how Axel Rudikabana got hold of boiling water. The Southport murderer Axel Rudikabana has attacked a prison officer. The 18-year-old hurled scalding water over a prison officer. To hurl over the prison officer. He is in the same terrorist unit as Hashim Abidi, who stabbed and burned guards last month. I'll just repeat that. So this is the breaking news tonight. The Southport murderer Axel Rudikabana has attacked a prison officer.
A convicted killer of 3 young girls just attacked a prison guard with boiling water at HMP Belmarsh, days after his public inquiry began. What does this tell us about our prison system's ability to protect its own staff? And while our prisons fail to contain the violence within, London Mayor Sadiq Khan now wants to concrete over the green belt that contains our city. 2 separate stories, with one common thread: those in power failing to protect what matters most. This is the reality we're facing in Britain today. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. The Southport killer's attack on a prison guard last week wasn't just another violent incident. It represents something far more troubling. A pattern of institutional failure that's becoming all too common in Britain today. What connects Axel Rudikabana throwing boiling water at a prison officer and Sadiq Khan's plans to build on London's Greenbelt? Both reveal how our protective systems are crumbling under the watch of those meant to safeguard them. Rudikabana, serving 52 years for murdering 3 young girls, launched what appears to be a calculated attack on a Belmarsh prison officer just days after his public inquiry began. The timing raises serious questions. Was this a reaction to the inquiry? How was a man convicted of such horrific crimes able to access boiling water in what's supposed to be one of Britain's most secure facilities? The Metropolitan Police are now investigating this as a serious assault, but the damage is already done. Another prison officer hospitalised while simply doing their job. This isn't an isolated incident. The pattern mirrors the attack by Hashim Abidi at HMP Franklin, where officers suffered stab wounds and scald burns in an unprovoked assault.
When he stabbed and burned prison guards last month. So this is obviously huge breaking news, so we will discuss this now. The 18-year-old hurled scalding water over a prison officer and the guard has been rushed to hospital. It is the same unit, apparently, where Hashim Abidi, the monster who helped to build the Manchester Arena bomb.
From his actions and why he's in prison, he is clearly extremely evil. He shouldn't be anywhere near boiling water. Those safeguards for the people working in that prison.
Belmarsh, once considered the gold standard of secure containment, is now becoming what insiders describe as a flashpoint of prison violence. The very walls meant to keep dangerous offenders contained are failing to protect those tasked with maintaining order inside them. Prison officers face these dangers daily, often with inadequate protection from the system that employs them. They are on the front lines, dealing with Britain's most dangerous individuals, yet security protocols repeatedly fail them. Why aren't more preventative measures in place? How can someone serving a 5-decade sentence for murdering children have the means to cause further harm? These questions remain unanswered, while prison staff pay the price with their safety and sometimes their lives. This breakdown of protective boundaries isn't limited to our prison system. On the other side of London, another containment structure faces threat: the green belt that has preserved our capital's environmental balance for generations. Mayor Sadiq Khan has announced plans to build 88,000 new homes annually, targeting the protected green spaces that form a vital buffer around our city. Khan claims only 13% of the green belt consists of accessible parks, a figure he uses to justify building on land previously deemed untouchable. But critics aren't convinced this narrow definition should determine which environmental protections to sacrifice. The Greenbelt serves multiple functions, preventing urban sprawl, protecting wildlife habitats, improving air quality, and providing psychological relief from concrete landscapes. These benefits can't be reduced to a percentage of public parkland. Susan Hall, the Conservative chief in City Hall, didn't mince words when she accused Khan of dancing to the tune the Labour government sets. She believes he's willing to sacrifice London's green spaces to appease his Labour paymasters. Strong accusations, but they highlight the political tension surrounding this decision. The Conservatives have labelled the plan as nothing short of environmental vandalism, a permanent solution to a temporary housing crisis that will irreversibly alter London's character. Andrew Boff, the City Hall Tories planning spokesman, pointed out Khan's apparent hypocrisy. Khan has previously given assurances in the London Assembly Chamber that he would protect London's green belt. Boff called the current plan a complete betrayal of those promises and shows utter contempt for Londoners who treasure these vital green spaces. Another case of protective boundaries being compromised by the very authorities tasked with maintaining them. The immediate need for housing conflicts directly with the long-term necessity of environmental protection. Both represent essential safeguards for citizens, homes to live in, and green spaces to sustain quality of life. Yet instead of finding innovative solutions that preserve both, we see authority figures choosing the path of least resistance. Build where it's easiest, not where it's best. Both situations, prison violence and environmental encroachment, reveal a disturbing pattern. Our institutions are failing to maintain the protective boundaries that keep society safe and sustainable. Whether it's prison walls or green belts, the systems designed to contain and protect are breaking down under pressure from those who should be their staunchest defenders. These aren't random, unconnected failures. They represent symptoms of a broader institutional breakdown across Britain today. Our authorities repeatedly demonstrate an inability to maintain the essential boundaries that define a functioning society. Prison officers shouldn't fear for their lives while performing their duties. London's environmental buffers shouldn't be sacrificed for short-term political expediency. The connection between these seemingly disparate issues reveals something more fundamental about Britain's current state. Our institutions, trying to come from criminal justice to urban planning, are increasingly sacrificing long-term stability for immediate convenience. The consequences will outlast the political careers of those making these decisions, leaving ordinary citizens to deal with the aftermath of compromised safety, diminished green spaces, and the erosion of public trust in the systems meant to protect what matters most. What do Ruda Kuba's prison attack and Khan's housing plans actually tell us? Behind these different headlines lies the same disturbing truth. Our institutions can't protect what matters most. Prison officers face calculated, targeted violence while serving the public, and London's green spaces face what Conservatives call a complete betrayal of protection promises. This pattern demands more than fleeting outrage. It forces us to ask whether those in power serve public interests or simply manage crises they've created. As Susan Hall bluntly put it, Khan is dancing to the tune the Labour government sets, rather than protecting vital resources. Britain needs leaders who maintain boundaries, both physical and moral, that keep our society functioning.